Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, person hit me up and asked me to kind of explain with just a little more detail about people trying to micromanage people marriage process and certain type of walis or wakils. Well, I ain't gonna say walis, but wakils is what they refer to them as. And some of the things that they doing and the way they prohibiting marriage. So to slow it down a little bit, what I mean by micromanaging marriages, and when I be speaking, I'm speaking from real examples, regardless to how crazy it sounds. Like these be real scenarios and real situations. So one form of micromanaging, you have some masjids that will flat out say, if you want this masjid to marry you, we have a 6-month process for you to go through. There's sit down processes, right? Basically 3 sit downs, like 1 sit down every 2 months, right? You're not gonna have 1 sit down and y'all say, yeah, we like each other, and then we gonna marry you. In between the sit downs, there's gonna be conversations with her, conversations with him, this, that, and the third. That's understandable when you have 2 people who don't have a clue who each other is, haven't even seen each other in person yet, and they from different parts of America. Because people in New York act different than people in California. People in California act different than people in Illinois. So, and vice in the South and everywhere else. So sometimes, because people are used to their region, they actually do better in relationships with people from their region because they have a certain level of understanding that's already there, because they're familiar with their environment, so they have a lot of ways. They have a lot of the same point of views. So if you got somebody from the West Coast, especially if they from an area that has certain urban politics like Compton, and then you got some girl from the suburbs like of Georgia, Stone Mountain, Georgia, or something, some type of outer suburb of Atlanta, where she's not from a Compton type area in Atlanta, but she's from a suburban, affluent family type of surrounding, and she's Muslim. They're going to have some differences. You know, like I said, a brother from a Compton, a sister from some prominent area in Georgia where she's been a good kid and been to school all her life. He's been through shootouts in prison and things the majority of his life. Now, if it's a situation like that, I can understand the micromanaging. Because generally, sometimes the micromanaging process is intentional for it to break down. To give these 2 people enough time to realize we shouldn't be together. We not a good fit for each other. We don't have similar ways. We don't really have anything in common. But they seeing different things from the dunya that's they're marrying. She from the suburb area, never really dealt with the street guy mentality, And she may be attracted to that. I want the street guy. He wants to get away from the street girls because they've been in the streets too much. So now he's attracted to the good schoolgirl. But one thing that people never tie in together, the street girl and the schoolgirl, they might have been with the same equal amount of partners. They may have been doing the exact same stuff, just in different ways. The schoolgirl may have done more than the street girl. But it's the image. And they coming together and they seeing the image. You see what I'm saying? She may have some things going on in her life where she has money, she has education, she has a job, and she doesn't feel secure with, not saying, I'm not calling him a nerd, but with a guy she feels like a nerd. I got this big house and I got these cars. This nerd can't protect me. So she might want the street guy. In those type of situations, like I said, I understand the micromanaging. They haven't even seen each other in person yet. But due to the way that there's no specific system set up in Compton to help him meet women in Los Angeles area, and then there's no system set up with her masjid and people around for her to meet people in a halal way, and they adults, they both been having sex since they teenage years, and right now they in their 30s, right? They may be in their 40s, and they have children past the age of 20. They have desires that isn't going to go away. So that's how they end up meeting on a Facebook, Instagram, social media. You see what I'm saying? That's how these sisters end up in situations where they own prison, muslimprisoner.com, where they sitting up seeking out a guy who got 75 years plus life. Been locked up since he was 16 years old. Now he's 37. Because there's nothing in place. And then they've tried this Wakil way, and they had Wakils who didn't know what they was doing. So due to these circumstances and it breaking down and falling apart, people are meeting in unconditional ways. They meeting at work. They're meeting at grocery stores. They meeting at the gas station. Just wherever they see each other. And like I said, social media give everybody access to anybody. Social media even recommends people you may not have ever seen a page a day in your life. Then they just start popping up on your timeline. You might even get a notification, new friend suggestion, and then it might suggest some brother that a female think is attractive, or some sister that a brother think is attractive. And then you might go to look at their page, and then like some of the things that some of the sisters do when they accept Islam, and they start to cover, sometimes they will intentionally leave some of their hot body pictures up for people who look at their page who don't know them can get a view of what they look like uncovered. Now, I'm not saying every sister do this, but I done had conversations with sisters who intentionally did it. And then some of the brothers, they might have pictures of themselves with their shirts off and they in a gym, where a female can get some type of description of what they look like. Then they sending each other friend requests. Or somebody that they had a crush on in high school, or they liked each other, but they was never able to get together because they was always in relationships. Relationship having a rocky time, They both in a relationship. The relationship get a little rocky, and then they because they know each other, and they just end up conversating. At school, they share same class. They in gym class together, and they talking, but they don't get together because they respect their relationships. Now later on in life, they in their 30s, they in their 40s, and then they come across each other on Facebook, and now they both Muslim. Then they hopping. Hey, I ain't seen you in forever. And then next thing you know, they talking and trying to figure out how to get together. And although they from the same city and grew up, this one may been from California, but now she lives in St. Louis. He may have lived in California, but now he lives in North Carolina, Hamtramck, Michigan. So this, like I say, and because the business is not being handled, people are really forced to meet these type of ways. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? And some of them have already fell into these haram relationships, and they don't want to do it no more. So they want to figure out the way to make things halal. But these sisters be having bad wakils, and unfortunately, a lot of times these be wakils by default. It ain't like you could go to wakil.com and look at at their success rate. How many sisters did you introduce to brothers? How many sisters did you go find brothers for and have them go through this process that you done created? And then they had a successful marriage. It ain't like they went to wakil.com. I'm in this city. This is the masjid I go to. This is the sister wakil. And he said he'll be my wakil too. But these sisters don't realize that sister been single for the last 3-4 years. And they know each other. What are he gonna do for you? So, and just like throughout my history, because like I said, I'd like to go through the process. I'm going to be honest with you, and I say it in many videos. I've had a situation where the sister said, my wakil said, contact him at this time, and of course we in different time zones. All right, cool, so this time is this and that. But he don't say call. Send him a message. Cool. Send him a message. Assalamu alaikum. This is such and such. I'm contacting you in regards to the sister. Is this a good time to talk? When will there be a good time? When will you be available to talk? Brother don't respond. Although he the one who said contact him at this certain time. So I wait a little bit, let an hour or two pass. Then I hit him up again. Maybe you was busy. Is this a good time? Let me know when it's a good time to contact you so that I won't be bothering you. And then he sends a message back. Oh, well, I'm doing this and that. This will be a good time. So then again, I hit him up one more time. At that time, he don't respond. That's fine. Cool. I'm through with it. Sister, you got a bad wakil. I'm not going to tell her that. But then, when I hear back from her, my wakil said you ain't serious. Wallahi. My wakil said you ain't serious about me. So I was like, why would he say that? She said because he feel like you not chasing him down enough. Wallahi. Now, the part in me, because I understand the process, and then I understand Islam to some degree, right? Now I'm going to look at it and be like, how long this brother been your wakil? Have he ever found you one brother that was worthy of marriage? No, the people that he bring to me, you know, they be half crazy. They be this, they be that. I might be attracted to him, but they Islam don't be no good. What Wakil picked that out for a sister that he care about? That's not no brother he would pick out for his daughter. That's not no brother that he would pick out for his sister. Now, now you have to ask yourself, what type of sister do he think you is to even pitch you with a person like that? And then when you find somebody on your own, or somebody else who you're close to recommended a brother, and then a brother step in, and now your Wakil instantly trying to shake him off. What's going to end up happening with this sister? And she's been dealing with this same Wakil 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. What's she going to end up doing? Because her desires ain't going to go nowhere. That's not going to stop 100 men jumping into her inbox. They may be from Africa, India, Egypt, Morocco, St. Louis, Chicago, Milwaukee. That's not going to stop people from getting in her inbox. What is she going to do? And if she got enough people in her inbox, even if she's not attracted to any of them, it still gives her a form of validation. She feels desirable. Men want me. Even if she feel like they want to have sex with her. Because even sometimes people having sex, wanting to have sex with you, is attractive to some people. I mean, it's enough for them to feel like, people desire me. I feel desirable. So her desires isn't going to go anywhere. What's going to end up happening? She going to just sit around, and then that's when those conversations with Allah start happening. Allah help me do this and that. But then they end up in just, they find somebody on their own, or some brother end up there that might be able to get through the walls. And the door be open for anything if they in close proximity. Another situation, a sister felt like I may have been a good person for one of her friends. Right? Like a sister who I do little Wakil stuff for. But I'm like a backup Wakil, but I'm like the serious one. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you tell me if this person's Salafi? Can you see what his knowledge is like? Like, I'm the one they call when do he really have the knowledge that he say he has? Is he really this? Is he really an alright guy? I'm the one they call when that type of stuff is coming. You know what I'm saying? But they may say, okay, I got this sister, you deserve this, you deserve that. Alright. See if the sister even got a Wakil first. Do she even have a Wali or real Wakil? Is her situation set up? Yeah, she got a Wakil. Okay, tell her to talk to her Wakil, and then tell me how to contact him. Cool. Send the information. This is my Wakil. I done talked to him. But they'll send me like a Facebook Messenger thing. No phone call, no nothing. Cool. Hit the brother up on Facebook Messenger. Assalamu alaikum. This is me. I'm contacting you in regards to the sister. When will be a good time to talk? No wa alaikum salam back or nothing. And then with Facebook Messenger, it show you when they look at the message. They look at the message, never say nothing. Wait a day or two. No, not even a wa alaikum salam. Hit them right back again. Is it okay if I ask you a couple of questions about the sister? Still no response. No nothing. Then the sister is sitting back like, and see, because one thing about African American women, they're going to defend people no matter how much in the wrong they are. That's when you could see some man may be done killed 15 people, And now that he getting ready to go to prison, oh, he don't deserve that. He had such a good heart. He ain't never did nothing wrong in their life. They could have been with him when he killed the 15 people. So then, of course, the sister, oh, well, he be super busy. Maybe he ain't seen the messages. But I could see that they looking right at the messages. And then once I send them a message, and it ain't like sometimes when you ain't friends, it may send it to like a spam thing, but it's showing me that they getting the messages. So now, because I done contacted them, every time I get on, if they're online, it'll show me that they right online, because it'll be the little green light or whatever, or it say they was online 15 minutes ago or whatever, right? So they're going to make the excuses for them. But even to this day, and this could have been a situation I'm speaking about that's a year old, and still to this very day, not even a salam alaikum back. And he could be an imam. He could be the main person that's in charge of the community. This sister could still be single right now today. This person could have been her wakil for 3, 4, 5 years. I didn't really get into the details and the gist of it. But if I was willing to bet my bottom dollar, I'd be willing to say to this day, he ain't got that sister married. So I just took it as it's possible some things about her he don't want to tell me. You see what I'm saying? It's some things about her that he don't want to discuss. You feel what I'm saying? So those is the things that I'm talking about. So what type of bind is that going to let her in? What situation is she going to be in now? And then if she end up falling into some haram, when the person who's responsible for her affairs could have had her married off a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So when it boiled down, because now it's looking like I ain't reached out to him, because they waiting to hear from him. He ain't even say to them, hey, the brother reached out to me. So now once it's making me look bad, and I still haven't talked to this person, I send the messages, I send the screenshots to the go-between, the sister who I'm a wakil for. And then she's showing the sister, and then I'm showing how much time done passed. He never responded. Although you trying to make him seem, not saying he a bad person. Oh, he busy, he have classes, he's here, he travel, he have 165 jobs. Now you see, he just flat out ignoring the whole entire situation. Now you got to snap on him. Now, but he's the imam. He's running these masjids. He's your wakil. Now you got to say to him, what you got to talk to him like you his imam. You don't know to at least salam another Muslim back? Is it he's not from the Muslim clique of yours? Like, what is it? And like I said, we didn't even get to that point. But those are the type of scenarios where people getting left on stuck due to the people that's responsible for their affairs. You know what I'm saying? And then you have brothers who gonna look at that and be like, you know, this sister, because, you know, these type of sisters, because they're going to make excuses and defend these type of wakils, they're going to keep them. These people still going to be in charge of their affairs. They still going to be sitting around waiting for this brother to do good by them. And it never happens. So what it leads to. So that's what I mean. Too much trying to micromanage. Brother, because I won't send you 100 messages a day, that means I'm not serious about the sister? And then slip out his mouth. See, other brothers, man, when they interested in sisters, they beat down my door. You mean you got brothers beating down your doors for sisters? why is it that these sisters still single? What are you doing? How you got somebody beating down doors for sisters and you still not marrying them off? And then when a person who won't beat down the doors, he's not serious, so you still stopping the marriage. What's going on with you? But you the same person who getting up, giving a cut bars every Friday. You the one who's sitting up in white crispy thobes, supposed to be in control of all these affairs of the masjids. What you got going on with you, brother? And like I said, sometimes I go through it just like me saying the same thing with the sister. When the first question, Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. So how do you feel about Shadid Muhammad? How was that the first question that you asked me? You see what I'm saying? Because anybody who really understands deen, I could have been a horrible Muslim and said, oh man, I can't stand Shadid Muhammad. I would never listen to that brother. He's a deviant. He's an innovator. Oh yeah, see, you a good brother. Yeah, you worthy of the sister hand in marriage. And then I could have been a dope fiend beating on her. But because I said I don't like Shadid Muhammad, I'm good enough. But then because I say I'm not going to say anything bad about him, you got to give me something to make me say something bad. It's just like if me and somebody sitting on the porch and somebody walking down the street and they say, you know him? I know who he is, but I don't know him. Well, you know we ain't supposed to like that brother. Why not? I don't know. I was just told we can't like him. Okay, that's you. I don't know him. I'm not going to say anything bad about the brother to appease you, especially when they're another Muslim. Give me something. You can't even give me nothing. But the person, your standard, your criteria on who's fit to marry this sister is based off if they willing to say something bad about Shadid Muhammad when they don't even know nothing. When the same brother can say something bad about him and get behind closed doors and be on drugs and beat her half to death every time he fiending. And I'm only mentioning that because these is real scenarios. And we just gonna have to start being realistic, man, about how this society is. And people going to have to start coming up with ways. You got two people who know each other. They grew up in the same city. Families know each other. People who've been together for a year. People who've been dealing with each other for 6 months. And then they come to you to marry. And you say, no, we got to drag this out. We need a minimum of 3 sit-downs. Then after 3 sit-downs, 2 months of pre-marriage counseling. For some people who are already dealing with each other. That's going to lead them to what? Then they only turn to you because they don't know who else to turn to. So what end up happening? They just stay together and hope that Allah forgive them for what they're doing. They don't even know where else to go to get somebody to marry them. And then throughout the process, he may find some brother who he barely know, who willing to say, look, I could go get another brother and we'll sit up on the phone and we'll marry y'all over the phone. And I got 2 witnesses. 2 witnesses that you can't even see with your own eyes. And these is the type of scenarios where some sister end up married to some brother in prison with 75 years plus life. Where she's on the phone with somebody or somebody in a jail standing next to him that she can't even see. He's doing a nikah, another person, 2 people standing next to him as witnesses, and they doing it all over the phone from jail. Then when it's time to dibble and dabble, now she meets somebody in the world. Now she want to move on with him and don't even know how to do it. Why? Because she's married to somebody with 75 years plus life. Telling her he's on an appeal. He waiting for an appeal. So then now she got him But now she got a person in her city, in her facility, that may live in her same apartment complex, that may live across the street. So now what's the next step? But then it's hard to fault them, because although they in sin, but people are being forced into these situations because they got wakils that's not handling their business, or masjids like, no, we don't do that here. You're going to take you 6 months. And like I said, if this is a person from you in California and they in Florida, they want y'all to fly. And then, like, you in California, your brother in California, she's a sister in Florida, and her wakil is in Denver, Colorado. So they want y'all to come physically meet in the masjid in Denver, Colorado once every 2 months, or whatever it is, where they drag the process out for 6 months to marry you. Plus counseling, plus this, plus that. What's going to end up happening? Man, we could just go ahead and fly and meet. Let me come meet you. Let me come see you. Let us do this. Next thing you know, they catching the buses and all type of stuff, man. And then it just jump off how it jump off. And like I said, it's not faulting people. I'm empathetic towards the situation. I understand why I go that way. And me being at a certain point in my life, where in a city where the same type of stuff happens, these is some of the things that I done had to maneuver through and try to figure out certain things to be married. Because there's nothing left. It's either that or just be out here having sex with people. And that's why, like, I'm around where I know more Muslim men that have girlfriends than that's married to kafirs. And then some of them, instead of doing the Muslim thing, they may have do some, a little makeshift. Let me get a couple of people together just so that we can say we fulfilled this and that and got it on paper. And then they went somewhere and set up and got married by some pastor, some preacher with a Bible, and had a whole ceremony and people walking in gowns and renting out expensive buildings and just did a whole big kuffar thing. Because there's nothing in place, man. So too much micromanaging, the wrong situations. Some situations don't need all that. And like I said, sometimes, in a lot of these cases, these aren't little kids, man. These be people with grown kids. These be people in their 40s and 50s, man. you got a 50-some-year-old woman, a 50-some-year-old man, and then some 42-year-old brother or 30-some-year-old brother trying to micromanage their affairs. And they got kids older than him. Not saying he don't know anything, but he's just the person by default. If they had a list of candidates of who qualify for the position, he probably would have never been chose. Sometimes these people be in place by default. Either they the ones who willing to get up there and do it, or they manipulated their way into the position and they getting paid to be this imam or whatever they calling themselves. And the business of the community is not being handled as far as marriage. And then sometimes you will see where it be ridiculous, because you can step in a masjid and you got 25 single brothers and 40 single sisters at the same masjid. While these 20 brothers, they all on social media meeting people on the other side of the United States. These same sisters meeting people on the other side of the United States. And with both groups. Some of the sisters is Muslim and some of them ain't that they dealing with. With the sisters, some of the brothers is Muslim men and some of them ain't. And then they look for the easy pickings. Which one of these sisters I can get to convert? Some of these sisters. Which one of these brothers I can get to convert? And like I said, man, like some of these sisters, man, I done had to help get out of marriage where they done had people that they converted to Islam. Some dude accepted Islam for them, and then she gets pregnant by him. And then they have a baby, and then they go their separate ways. Now, he leaves Islam because he was only dealing with Islam to be with her. Now, and wallahi, this is real talk. Now, when he leaves Islam, now it's a struggle on how to raise her child in Islam. Because now he want to do Christmas and everything else with the son. And now he got a new girlfriend who's not Muslim. Now he's convincing the son that Islam is a joke. It's too strict. You ain't got to do all that to prove that you love God. And now she's in scenarios and now she's marrying this person and these people, man, going through things. And wallahi, I got to help her get out of marriages because the system done broke down, and now she end up in a makeshift situation, and now she's married to a Sufi and don't even know it. But didn't call me in the process. They called me to get her out of the marriage, but you didn't call me in the beginning because I would have said, nah, this brother's a Sufi. Now, if you, because you consider yourself to be a particular type of Salafi, you feel like a Sufi not permissible for you. And this is why he done tricked you. But you used to the type of dudes that you can get to accept Islam and be around you and be the fakest Muslim you ever seen, but you had a satisfaction of saying, I'm married to a Muslim. Although you know his Islam is doodle buns. But again, these are situations they end up in because they had wakils and walis that didn't take care of their business. And a year done went past, 2 years done went past, 3 years done went past. They've been on a waiting list at the best Salafi masjid in America. They done filled out an application every single year for 3 years straight. Never even got a call back. Okay? Never even got a call back. So now they end up in situations like this, man. And the thing is, sometimes people be up to no good, but sometimes people really be trying to fulfill their Islamic obligations. I know I have to be married. I can't just keep having sex with this person. But there's no one to help me. I know that I'm trying to fulfill my obligations. Just like with the brothers. Hey, she took her shahada. She don't believe Jesus is God anymore. But that's the extent of her Islam. And then once they break up and then she go right back to that way of life. Like I said, a sister here, they went through that. And then she Muslim until she get in her 40s. They go her separate ways. Now she trying to get a whole sleeve. She getting all gang of tattoos. Going completely backwards. In the age of 40. In her 40s. I look at the cause and effects. What's the cause of this? Masjids and people that's in place that's not taking care of their business. That's not taking care of their business. There been plenty of people who done met and, you know, they may had relationships when they was younger in their teenage years or early 20s, and then they bump into each other later on in life, already have some type of contact, and they both Muslim now, and then they get to dealing with each other, and I know them and they in a close proximity. I'm not going to sit down and say, hey, fear Allah, you need to stay away from her. Y'all, what y'all doing is haram. Y'all falling into sin. I'm going to say, y'all need to fear Allah and get married. I'll do it, man. Y'all already in it. Y'all acquiring too much sin. What's wrong with y'all just sitting down? Oh, no, you know, because they both have some fears. It ain't going to work. What y'all doing together for if y'all feel that way? Let me help y'all get married, man. Not try to convince y'all to stay away from each other when y'all already live in the same house together. I know y'all not finna stay away from each other. Get married. Don't even know where anywhere else to turn to get married. If I wasn't around, they probably wouldn't be Islamically married to this day. Because if they would have went to the masjid would have told them, hey, we don't do that. Go to the courthouse. Or this particular brother, he know how to do this and that, but he's also somebody who done went and got married by some preacher. Sitting up in front of some type of in front of some man with a Bible, kicking Bible verses and stuff, and by the power vested in him. This is who gonna do y'all stuff? Like, y'all too confused, man. The system is broken down, man. He's married to a kafir with a kafir wedding. Not judging him, but this is the end results. This is who people got to turn to. Like just knowing Muslims who've been Muslim for 23 years, 24 years, and you say to them, hey, what's the Prophet Muhammad name? And they be like, Mustafa. And you have to look at them and say, dang, I thought you would have at least said Muhammad. Oh, why would I say Muhammad? That's just something that they call him. And these is the people out here teaching people. And you've been Muslim over 20 years and you don't even know that Prophet Muhammad's name is Muhammad. You can walk up to a kafir, Islam hating, enemy of Islam, hating of all races, and say to them, what's Prophet Muhammad's name? And they gonna say Muhammad. They might have some slanders behind them, the little stupid stuff that they say, but they even know that it's Muhammad. These are the type of people that you got out here trying to teach people and handle people's affairs. So, man, let me get up off of here, man. But that's what I mean by the micromanaging. And that's what I mean by these type of walis and wakils that's out here representing the people. You know what I'm saying? These is the ones that's out here representing the people. And then sometimes they won't be honest with the sisters like I will. Sister, yes, you have a good heart. Yes, you are a good person. But Islamically, you're just not that. And you're not taking the steps to get that. You want a brother who's going to hold sisters to particular standards. This person who you trying to get is not finna put up with these excuses and stuff that you done created for yourself to get out of doing what you're supposed to do. You're going to have to clean your act up. If you don't, you're going to keep ending up with the Pookies and Ray Rays of the deen. And sometimes I'm not going to fight that, and I'm not going to, if I know this is a Muslim sister who don't really pray, I'm not going to judge her, who don't really pray for whatever reasons, who don't really study, doesn't really read, don't go to Jumu'ah, and may have some deficiencies in her way of life. She may drink every once in a while. She may puff every once in a while. She may go to the club every once in a while. And now she done bumped into a brother who's exactly like her. Why would I stop them from getting married? Y'all exactly the same. And when you look at the Quran where it say, this type of brother is for this type of sister. This type of sister is for this type of brother. Nah, sister, I need to hook you up with this student of knowledge. And then with this student of knowledge going to be like, why you even bring her my way? No disrespect to her, but I can't change her. I can't clean her up. Sometimes the Muslim, just like the street Muslim, the one who don't want to leave alone selling the drugs, who don't want to leave alone getting high and doing this type of stuff that he's in the street, why would I hook him up with the good girl sister who just want to pray and read and study all day, who want to listen to lectures and go to Jumu'ah? He don't want to go to Jumu'ah. Why would I put that type of dysfunction in his life? The street Muslim girl is a good fit for him. At least they're going to be married. At least they got that part out of the way. But see, some people, oh man, I need to figure out like this and that, and then they just gonna mess around anyway. You really ain't stopped nothing. Or they just go their separate ways because no Muslim will help them, and you never know. They might get together, and then Allah may put something in them where they both change and become excellent Muslims because they got together and strengthened each other. But nobody helped them out. No system is in place. Now she's running around with a kafir not married, and now he's running around with a kafir not married. When a Muslim had the perfect opportunity to put those two together and make dua for them and stay on their neck. Y'all need to come to the masjid. You need to come to these classes. You need to come do this. Y'all need to read this. I will personally sit up with y'all every weekend for an hour or 2 hours and go through classes with y'all. Now, if they fall off and all these classes too much, I feel like you trying to make fun of us, and it fall out, that's okay, alhamdulillah. But at least some effort was put forth. At least we tried. And then maybe somewhere down the line, those things may change. We can't just continue to keep sending Muslims out there and then blame them because they out there. What other choices do they have? What other choices do they have? We just got to deal with reality, man. So anyway, man, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.